So good evening, my name is Mary Maslowski. I'm the chairperson of the Harwich Historic District and Historical Commission. We are convening our meeting for Wednesday, October 20th, 2021 at 6 p.m. We are located at the small hearing room in Town Hall at 732 Main Street in Harwich Center. We will just ask, because we're in the meeting room, we are required to wear masks tonight, so we just ask that people speak up so that we can do our best to be heard. I will start with our roll call, if we could.
Lynn Zalisak.
Brendan Lowney.
Julia Eldridge.
And as I said, Mary Maslowski. We do have a quorum for this evening, so we will start by just notifying everyone that under state law, we are audio and video recording this meeting. If anyone else in the audience wishes to audio or video record the meeting, you're required to notify the chair at this time. Hearing none. Hearing none, we will. Hearing none, we will open the first matter tonight. It is a public hearing on case number HH 2021-13. It's Robert and Lynn Stern, owner of Unit 1 in the Solomon Thatcher House condominium, Salt Spray Sheds, as agent, who have applied for either a certificate of non-applicability or, in the alternative, a certificate of appropriateness for a new shed in the exclusive use area of said Unit 1. The subject property is 98 Parallel Street, map 41, parcel D12, located in the Harwich Center Historic District. Are you here for that application?
I am.
Okay, if you could tell us what you need from us tonight.
I guess.
Just for the record, if you could go over the application.
Sure, the approval of the commission to erect the shed. If you need more descriptions, I can add to the photographs that you have as part of the application, if that would be helpful to you.
Okay, so it looks like the proposed shed is going to go on near the westerly side of the property,
East.
and it's the easterly side of the property, sorry. Yes, I can read a map. And it looks like a 7.5 feet by 7.5 feet square shed.
Approximately, yes.
Okay, so we'll open it up to questions from the board. Julie, do you have any questions about the request?
Is it going behind the fence or wall? Is that where it's going, like
It's
behind?
behind the fence,
It's
correct.
behind the fence.
It's behind the
okay.
fence, okay.
That's the only
And
question.
also, if I can add, if it's helpful, there had been a really big hot tub there. And as part of the arrangement, they had removed that, so not only is it behind the fence, but there's a approximately 8-foot square cement pad that the hot tub is sitting on.
Mhm.
So it's a really ideal spot for many reasons to have a shed there. And we also went to the trouble, and I'm not complaining, just saying expense of having the whole thing with clapboards that will exactly match the house. And the paint color is there as part of the
Mhm.
exhibits, so it will match to the house. Additionally, the roof, we have several, a lot of roof tiles from the main roof when they replaced it, I think about 2 years ago. So the roof will match exactly to the current roof.
Okay, very good.
That was all I had, just, I think it's.
Brendan, any questions?
Just on the PVC composite trim material, do you
Yes. Oh,
or
sorry.
the AZAC product you're using, do you plan to paint that?
It will be white, it will match, it's either white already, I'm not really sure,
Mhm.
or it will be white to match the white trim of the main.
So it will be painted?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Is it painted or is it the white AZAC?
Well,
Because there is white AZAC, and typically in the historic district, we ask that AZAC get painted,
Correct.
because otherwise it deteriorates very
yeah,
quickly.
Sure, I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
Anyway, but that's a simple thing to do, and where the shed is gonna be closer to the main house, we already have that all repainted, which is why we have the color check, and then the white trim was repainted also, so it would be a really nice integration
Okay.
into the main house.
So I would just ask that if it is the white AZEK that comes off the truck white, that it get painted in addition to that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And Lynn, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Anything else that we've
I
missed?
don't think so.
I know.
All right, then the chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Mrs. Eldridge, seconded by Mr. Lowney. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. And then we would, the chair would entertain a motion. Now, we have two applications before us. It is both a certificate of non-applicability and in the alternative, a certificate of appropriateness. I personally believe it's a certificate of appropriateness because it is within the historic district and it's not replacing a like for like or something, small
Mhm.
like that. So, my recommendation is that we act on the certificate of appropriateness. At this time, they're both rightfully before us, so the chair would entertain a motion in that respect.
Motion to approve case number HH 202113 as a certificate of appropriateness as presented.
A second?
And if I can offer an amendment to,
Oh,
um,
an amendment.
with
yes.
the stipulation that the
Trim.
composite trim be painted. Okay, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
So motion's been made by Mr. Lowney, seconded by Mrs. Eldridge. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. It is approved. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure I'll see you on the street, or you can come by when the shed is erected.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else from me?
Nothing that we need from you this evening. Thank you very much,
Okay,
sir.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all.
Give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, take your time.
It's 20th today, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Patty, my friend, here you go. You are done.
Thank you.
All right, so the next matter we have on the agenda is the minutes from September 15th, 2021. Did we have them, Patty?
No, we did not. I did not finish them.
Okay,
Okay, that's fine.
so we'll put that over to the next meeting. With respect to old business, the property study of additional historic properties and inventory, Bob isn't here, but I can tell you that we did send an update into into the CPC. I had held off on sending in our biannual report to the CPC because of trying to see what Cape Cod Commission was going to be able to do for us on those Forms B. So Bob had drafted a report for CPC. We sent that off for the last meeting, which was last Thursday. So I know Bob has made significant work with respect to like what's next and what was already done and what still needs to be done. So I'm sure he will give us an update at our next meeting. As far as other reports, I can simply say that CPC is moving forward. We've received applications. I don't remember the historic ones off the top of my head. Patty, if there are any that need to come before us, and somebody
I have not
approaches you?
Right, but I have not received anything yet.
Okay, so, other than that, we are good.
Mm-hmm.
CPC wise, we start reviewing things pretty quickly, and then we will vote generally in January. And I wish I could say that I had the numbers in my head as of right now, but I do not. So, I will say that at last year's town meeting, we did vote quite a large sum for Brooks Academy Museum, so that is the primary historic one
Right.
that's outstanding besides our application to update the list. Brendan, any reports from the trust?
The Affordable Housing Trust, as you know, we bought a pretty big property up at exit 10 on the top, called the Marceline property. And our next steps with that is to create a subdivision and start creating some RFPs for that. So it was about 13 acres, and then in town meeting on Monday, we petitioned to take one parcel that sits in the middle of the property, eminent domain. We don't know who owns the property, so that's in the works as well. So it's gonna be more than 13 acres, which is great. So a lot of great things that can happen there, so. And there was a lot of excitement about affordable housing at the meeting as well. People really supporting it, even though a lot of it wasn't on the agenda, but was talked about, so, which is great.
So one of the things that the town did was increase the
Yep.
rooms tax by the statutorily allowed local option of 2%. So we were one of the few towns, if not, I think Chatham might be the only one that hasn't done it to date.
We haven't
The-
moved ours since 1987.
Right.
It's
Oh
been
my
at,
goodness.
it's been at 4%, so we're coming up to 6. And there was a list of all the other towns. I think you're right, Chatham was
I
lower.
think Chatham's the only one that
Everyone's
is.
around 6 or 7, so, but we're gonna get 25% of
So-
that.
So 25% of those funds will go into a stabilization fund for affordable housing, and we also voted that, I believe, another 25% of those funds
Waste management.
will go into a septic enterprise fund or a stabilization fund, so that, to help offset the bonding that will be required for sewers. So,
Mhm.
while it's increasing the revenue coming in from the short-term rental tax, it is also being dedicated into two funds, so, that did receive town meeting approval, so
Mhm.
that was a nice thing to have happen for
Absolutely.
affordable housing.
It was great, it was really good. We had 2 victories that night, so.
Exactly, and Pleasant Lake Ave isn't too far from our historic district, so.
Right, so I'll put my 2 cents in when it comes to design if I can. And
So-
the RFP, that will also show, that'll be reflective of, when we do an RFP, what we're looking for, what the subdivision's gonna, produce. But anything that's sitting on, 124, I'd like to see maybe in the RFP have, some historical, significance to it, because it is very close. It's the first thing you see when you get off the exit and come into our town, so I think it's gonna be part of the application, hopefully.
How many
so.
units are they talking about?
We don't know yet. We have to wait till the subdivision, and there's infrastructure that we have to do, in and out, exits, enter,
You have no idea what's even usable yet, so.
Most of it, the land's pretty good from the initial geo report and everything.
good.
So, yeah.
Well, that's where you got animals, right?
I'm sorry,
It's more like
Cars, junk.
No, it's on the other side.
it's the other
okay.
side of
Yeah,
it.
it's on the other side. No, it's
Um,
pretty open land, most of
I
it.
didn't know if he had kept some of his, because he had animal, like farm animals.
Yeah,
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 okay.
yeah. We just did a tour with CPC and other members, housing authority, stuff like that. So we went through the property and did a walkthrough,
Oh, wow.
and board of selectmen as well. So, yeah, it's on its way.
Nice.
So it's exciting.
It's a huge
Nice.
step.
Yeah, it's there. It's all
I
there.
will say, I did have a conversation with John Eidman, I think based on the fact that we're trying to get the demolition delay bylaw is up for Springtown meeting. The selectmen did vote to put it on the Springtown meeting agenda. I do think we should take advantage of our town planner's legal background and expertise to take a pass at it and take a good look and see if he has some comments or some suggestions for improvements on it. So
So we can make changes, okay.
yeah, so because we still have time to do that before it goes back on. So we should probably invite him to one of our next meetings, whether that's December or January, whatever fits into his schedule, Patty. So,
Tell me whenever you would like.
yeah, whenever, if you could, just on our behalf, ask John if he'd like to talk to us about the bylaw, if he'd like to talk to us before he looks at it or after he looks at it. We're happy to put him on whatever agenda he'd like to talk to us at, so.
Just not next month, I'm not here.
Yep.
And you're not,
November's a tough month,
November's
so,
not month.
so it would probably not be next
Should I
month.
postpone or cancel November's meeting?
If we do not have any, if we will not have any applications, then I would say yes.
Yes.
There's no reason for us to meet next
Then
month.
I will cancel it then.
Okay, perfect.
Unless there's something that's time sensitive
Right.
to someone.
If something pops up,
Yep.
then just let me know and we'll, we can
Mhm.
always schedule a special if we have time to.
And I can remote in if I have to. I
Right.
can always
Oh,
call in.
perfect, yeah.
Right, but if there's no application, there's no point.
There's no, there are no
Right.
applications.
Perfect.
Okay.
Nice.
Perfect. Anything else?
Nope.
Oh, I've been placed on the Brooks Academy Commission.
Okay, good.
Oh, great.
Nice.
So whenever anything comes up, and I know there's stuff that's probably going to be coming up,
Mhm.
I will
There will be.
recuse myself.
Well, you would only
Leave.
have to, if we're voting on something, relative to it. But,
Okay.
But
You can get
fabulous.
updates at the meetings, that's for sure.
exactly. So if there is nothing else, with the note that we will cancel November's meeting, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to go watch the Red Sox.
I second.
That's not-
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
All right.